Attention, attention, door will be closed.
Hello, crewmates. Welcome back with me, Carolina, and my partner, Dewi, and you're listening to IELTS Lab Bigger, Better, Try. So, guys, how do you do? I hope you are doing well. Did you know it has been a year since the first case of COVID 19? And thank God we survived.
Yeah, alright, Olin, it's already a year, and I hope you guys stay healthy and always wear your masks whenever you go. Alright, Olin, by the way, what is our topic today?
Right. Our topic today, we're going to discuss how to shape our speaking skill. We're having a special guest who is an ESL teacher who deals with TOEFL and IELTS preparation class. A warm welcome to Miss Karlen. Hello, Miss Karlen.
It's really good to see you guys here, and thank you so much. It's been a blessing for me to share my experience with you ladies and everyone who hears. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Miss Karlen, for your warm greeting.
Okay. Now, crewmate, please stay tuned because we will back with the first segment.
Okay, welcome back to the first segment of our podcast, which is sharing with our guest speaker. Woo! So before we go further, we need to get to know about our guest speaker and her occupation maybe. There's a popular proverb in Indonesia which is tak kenal maka tak sayang. So let's jump to the tea.
Okay, thank you, Olin. Would you tell us how long have you been teaching English, especially the IELTS and TOEFL preparation classes?
That's a very good question for the opening. Well, people always talk about experience, and I do believe in that because we learn a lot from experience. I've taught English for about 12 years, and I think for teaching TOEFL and IELTS, I think it comes to the 8th years, I think.
Whoa, it has been a long time. I believe you have been through ups and downs during your teaching journey. Anyway, I was wondering what is your main intention of teaching or being a teacher? In this case, an IELTS teacher.
Well, this is again, it's an interesting question. I remember when I was in university taking my bachelor, which was international relation. One of my besties said to me, well, at the time we had a discussion, and then she said to me like, Carlen, I don't understand what you say. What's the point of your arguments? You just speak too much. And it was harsh. But then, after that, we didn't talk for like 1 week because I was so offended. But then I thought like, well, my friends, the other friends, they had never talked so blatantly to me. But why should my bestie talk about that to me? Well, it is something that I need to improve, of course. So I learned that I didn't have a good way in delivering my answer simply because I don't have the outline, like how I need to talk and to convey my message in a good structure. So I should say that I have been forever thankful for that experience because since that moment on, I learned to sharpen my skill in conveying answers, in a good structure. So I think that's why I teach, IELTS, because sometimes people think that in IELTS, they want to see how close we are to native speaker. And then they try to speak English like naturally, the test takers, I mean. But then at the same time, this is test. Again, we need to convey our answers in a structured way because that's what they want to see from us. I think that's the reason why I focus on IELTS and TOEFL, I think. Apart from the reason because I get more money from there.
Okay, that's really challenging. Okay, Miss K. So the next question about your IELTS teaching journey. Which kind of students who come to take an IELTS preparation class, and why do they take the IELTS preparation class?
Ooh, that's very challenging questions. I should say I think for the first years of my arts teaching journey, I taught students, mostly senior high school goers, to who wanted to deepen their English skills. If not, getting like at least 6.5 score. But then in the last 4 years, I've taught IELTS mostly for scholarship seekers. So yeah, and then these students, they come to me not only because they want to sharpen their English skills or to improve their IELTS score, but because they want to study abroad, I think.
I see. So it was interesting for having various students from senior high schoolers and also adult for with different backgrounds, but yeah, they come with the same purpose. It's getting more exciting, but we will stop here and continue our discussion about the actual IELTS itself right after this. So stay tuned, crewmates. Okay, now we're in the second segment, which is feedback time with our guest speaker. So, for your information, crewmates, about 2 weeks ago, me and Dewi, we have an IELTS simulation test with our guest speaker. And actually, I'm so nervous to hear the feedback from Miss Karlen, but we will see. How about you, Dewi?
Oh, me too, Olin. I'm so nervous, just like the time when I did the test.
Okay, without further ado, let's hear the feedback from our guest speaker. Miss K, time is yours.
Right. People, thank you so much. I'm amazed by your hard work. So you just do not create the outline for the podcast, but also you really took the task seriously. So that's amazing. And yeah, I have seen the works of you both. There are some considerations, some things that we need to assess, but I think I will just mention the very basic things, okay? So I divide into two. So the content and then the technique. So for the content, it's about how effective, how cohesive and coherent your answer is. And then for the technical things, there are simple things like grammatical rules, vocabulary or the lexical, and then the pronunciation and how natural your English is. Right. So if I compare, well, sorry, I don't want to compare anyway, but I'm going to see the strengths and the weaknesses and suggest how you can improve based on the results. Okay. So overall, based on the content, I can see that Lina, you covered the points that are asked, okay, in section 1, 2, and 3, okay, and so did Dewi. But then Lina's answer tends to be too detailed. Remember, we have limited time in answering the questions.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, that's hard. And Dewi is quite the opposite. So Dewi, you answered in a more general mode. Okay. Well, we know that we just do not give yes or no. We just do not state our opinion, but we also need to give like a supporting detail or example to what we say. But both of you deal with well the same thing. You need to improve your skill in how to convey an answer by using outline. Okay, so
Okay.
outline keeps us to be on track and make sure that we make the most of the time given. because when he or she says, okay, it's the time for you to just talk. But the
I
most
see.
important is whether you answer the questions or not. And then the second one is about the technical things. For the grammatical rules, both of you showed some errors for simple things like the article, simple present tense, and simple past tense, and then preposition, preposition of time and also of place. For example, like in Lina's answer, you have a tendency to put the verb to be and the verb of action. I'm lack. Well, it should be I lack or I'm lacking of. So it's the point is that these are simple things, but we really need to improve on that, and it takes time to shape. And then the next one is about for the lexical things. It's about the word choice. Well, it requires like practice more. For example, like when you say my eyebrow pencil is already out. English speaking domain, the examiner knows what you mean. But then I think the right one is I rent my eyebrow pencil or I ran out of it. Again, it's a simple thing, but then you need to improve on phrasal verbs. It's about word choice. And then the other thing is about pronunciation. It's a very little thing, like when you say like take, it's not tech. Because tag is like when you tag your friend on FB or on Instagram, that's tag.
Yes.
But so take, the way we pronounce also influences the meaning. And then when you say make, it's not Mac, like in Macintosh. The next part is whether you are speaking natural English or not. I can say that it's accepted, of course. Like what I mean is accepted is that I do understand what you mean, okay? And then it's a test mode. It's not like like really slang when you are talking with your friends. Of course, it can be a plus point in speaking when you are having a conversation in a really natural mode. For Dewi, it was more formal. You just need to add more the exposure of speaking in English, like with your friends or maybe through video or through films. The more you are exposed to, and then the better, the result comes out. Because remember that our receptive skills, like reading and then listening. So what we read and then what we listen, what we watch, what we discussed, they will determine the production skills. What we produce, either in written form, in writing, or in speaking, of course. So yeah, that's the natural English. The point is that you guys need to improve exposure, and not only exposure, but also I think like discussion. So it will then give you, like some time to process what you read and what you listen to, so that you can produce better. Another interesting thing is about the outline. In conveying our answers, we have to, again, it is like speaking, and they want to see how natural our English is, but because it is a test, so you really have to show that you know how to answer. It's not only that you can speak English, no, but you know how to state your opinion and how to support. So I think the outline, like the topic sentence, it has to be there. And then the supporting details. We have to provide the examples. And that's what I think this is what you guys lack of. So again and again, guys, you can put the conclusion either in the beginning or at the end. So it can be deductive, it can be inductive. But my point is that in the limited time, you have to state your opinion and support it. There is no point at all if you talk much, like you want to show that you can speak English, but there is no supporting detail, or you do not emphasize your answer. So there is no topic sentence. Then you will lose points there. And then this is the last point, and it's very important. Understanding the question, guys. You know that 3 sections in speaking test, they are related one another. So it's
Right,
getting more and more specific, right? You both made the same, like if you remember, you both made the same errors. Like in the section 2, it asked about possession. What kind of possessions that showed status in your country? So, Lena, at the time, you misunderstood the question. Okay, so there was a problem with the interpretation. But yes, you spoke English well. You spoke English well. But the problem is that you misunderstood the question and it
right,
influenced the answer.
right.
Well, and then there we, I think there we you didn't take the answer correctly. Okay, so that, but the difference is this: if Lina, you kept going on, but Dewi, you were lost. So you just stop there. Guys, that sometimes we just need to talk. It's not like we just keep in silent and that's all and that's done and we lose the points. Still, if we do not know the meaning, I think it's based on my opinion. You can kind of ask, but please don't make it too often. You can ask, but question tag. So understanding a question, guys, it's really important, because if you lose one number, you don't get it right and it will influence the rest of it. Like I do believe you have the IELTS module, okay? You can do very simple thing like strengthen your receptive skills. You can just listen to the audio file. You listen and repeat until we are familiar with the pronunciations. So you can imagine that we try to combine these three. We listen, we read, and we produce. But by doing so, you can improve your receptive skills and production skills at the same time. It's all about time. So you really have to invest your time for the IELTS preparation.
I will sum up what you have just said. First of all, thank you for the commentary and the explanation as well. To sum up, to be able to speak, we need to master the fundamental English first. I was too nervous and I'm not getting used to. That's why we need to be exposed to English to build our speaking habit. Because as you mentioned earlier, our production skills are influenced by our intake. And we'll be back with the next segment. Okay, now we're in the last segment as well as the core of today's podcast. So in the previous segments, we have seen the case study of IELTS speaking test, also heard commentary from the examiner. Now we're going to be ready to face the real IELTS test. That's why we're going to do a question and answer session with our guest speaker. So Dewi, could you please read the first question?
Okay, question number 1. When is the best time for us or someone to take an IELTS test?
Oh, I'll be the happiest teacher in the world if, my gonna-be students ask this kind of question. Most of the students, they came to me and say that, look, I'm gonna have the IELTS test in 2 months or in 3 months, and I need to meet like the score of 7. Okay, let's see your analysis. Step first. Let's see the result of the pre-assessment. So people, I think when is the best time? It really depends on each individual. So what I mean is that the purpose, the intention, different individual has different basic English skill. Okay, so the best time will be when do you need to meet a certain score. That's the first one. And then the second one, where you are, like where you are in mastering basic English skill. Because I should say like IELTS, they're going to see the integrated skills and the receptive, like listening and reading, and then the production skills, writing and speaking. So I should say that the best time, if you have strengthened your basic English skills, and then you can go to the integrated skills, and then you can start preparing yourself for the test itself. So if you ask me, well, let's see the pre-assessment test then. Just be realistic.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So I think the earlier it's better, right? Like you've said before, it's like investment.
Exactly. I think planning is a key element. Of course, IELTS or TOEFL tests, they are not for all people. Certain people who need the IELTS score who are going to take the test, right? Be it the study purpose or maybe for working abroad or living abroad. So I think it's like, we need to identify our intention first. And then we need to strengthen the basic things before we actually take the test.
Okay, so related to what you have told earlier, then how should people or someone prepare themselves before taking an IELTS test?
That's a very interesting question. To be honest to you, this is how teachers we make money. Right. we this is how you guys are going to make money. Okay, right. So based on my experience, ladies, it's not about teaching only, but it's also suggesting, like advice. Well, educational advice to students. So, when students come to you, like your gonna be students come to you, and then of course we want to teach them, right? Because, well, I just try to be honest anyway, because we can make money from there.
Right,
but,
right.
but I think we should come back to the root. Why students need teacher? I think students need teachers because that's a function of teachers, right? To see students' blind spot. So, well, if students themselves can do that, so there is no point for them to to be taught by a teacher, I think. So, yeah, I think what teachers need to do is that helping them to see whether they can prepare themselves on individual basis or not. So, questions like, can you teach yourself? How are you confident with your self-study? How is your time management skills? When do you need to meet the score of 7 or the score of 6.5? And then where are you now in terms of the basic English? Like sometimes we need to, it's based on my experience, to help them with the pre-assessment test just to show that, okay, your reading skill is like this, your listening skill is like this, but also the grammar and vocabulary. And then be honest to them. So if they can teach themselves, if they are good in time management, and if they are okay with their basic English, well, we don't need to teach them then. I think that's the hardest part, like us, well, private teachers should do.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot make money from there, right? But again and again, depends on the teacher, I think.
As a student teacher, it's really hard to tell the truth, right? Because that's how we make money. But I think your answer is just amazing from teacher's perspective. Okay, Dewi, what is the next question, please?
Okay, the next question. Miss K, is it enough for us an IELTS preparation test before we taking an IELTS test?
That's an interesting question. Well, it's related with the previous answer. I think students need to identify their intention first, and then their mastery of basic English. So let's say that you ladies, this is the trend, some people, they take IELTS preparation, okay? I don't know, maybe it's like a tent meeting, preparation course, or like 3-month preparation course, or even 6 months, okay? And then they practice and practice and practice. But then they take the test, and then they fail in meeting a certain score, and then they take again. Well, in some cases, it can work. But in some other cases, it's just, it's a fallacy. Because the essential point here is not whether we take the IELTS preparation course or how many times we took the IELTS preparation course, but it's the quality. What I mean is like this. Even if you do your own self-study, you try so hard, you take every effort seriously to experience the quality one. the quality learning experience. Or if you are taught by an instructor, then it has to be the quality one. Sometimes people think that, okay, I have already taken the IELTS preparation course and that's enough. And then they fail and they take again and they fail simply because of the thing the teachers have already known, their basic English skill. We can never, just be honest to ourselves, we can never go to the higher, like the higher level of the integrated skills test if we haven't mastered yet the basic ones. Sometimes we don't need teachers, but of course, if we need someone to see our blind spot, to practice more, so we can have sparring partner, then yeah, we can take the IELTS preparation course. So I hope I answer your question, Dewi.
Okay, thank you, Miss Karlen, for answering the question. So I must say that IELTS test is actually like journey, right? You can take it like only once, twice, but you need to strengthen your basic or the fundamental first. Okay, that's really interesting point. So we will move to the next question then. What is the biggest challenge in IELTS speaking test?
The biggest challenge here is how natural our English is, but then how we answer the questions comprehensively in a limited time. This is the fallacy we all know. Like we always associated speaking test with something casual, laid back, relaxed, and then we occupy like slang language. But then there is no point at all. Even if we speak of more words, many words, but if we do not convey our answers comprehensively with a good outline in a limited time.
So it is not only about how naturally your English is, but how comprehensive your answer. So thank you, Miss Karlen, once again for answering all the questions. It was really interesting because we're not only talking about the IELTS from test takers' perspective, but also from the teachers or pedagogical perspective. And I personally, as a student teacher, feel blessed with this fruitful discussion. IELTS Lab, bigger, better, try. Thank you so much, Miss K, for coming and sharing with us. Crewmates, remember, be realistic and be ready. We couldn't make it without preparation, but the most important thing, build your speaking habit. We hope today's topic will help you with your IELTS journey.
Okay, don't forget guys to get updated information from our Instagram at IELTSlab.id and see you next Monday. Bye!